with you. They lying to the world. I'm not joking with you. It's that easy. Eat your stuff,
Hmm.
juice you some stuff, take some supplements, girl. Please, you're all you gotta do is boost your immune system, like a Dr. Keeley said earlier. When your body is in the highest alkaline state, diseases cannot survive in an alkaline environment. I don't care if your body is alkaline, disease cannot live in it. I keep my immune system strong. Okay, I know what to take. I know what to eat. I know what to juice. I take detox baths. I deliver boxes to people all the time. I'm in front of people with corona. I don't care. I don't wear a mask. I don't breathe down my same dirty carbon dioxide going back down into my gut to make me sick. I don't cut off my oxygen because we need a constant flow of oxygen. If we start doing everything these people telling us to do, we all gonna be walking around like robots doing what they want us to do. So that's pretty much, and then if I have people that has worn the mask for too long, they'll come back to me and say, Tamika, my oxygen level is 80. What do you recommend me take? I said, you can take that mask off and get a shield and tell your doctor that you have sickle cell, your levels are going down and you can't do that. But you can take
Hmm.
cell food, which is liquid oxygen, chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll, that helps increase oxygen, raise your hemoglobin, increase your red blood cells, molecular hydrogen. All these things will, get your levels back up. And simply breathing. If you close your mouth and inhale and exhale, that can help, expand your lungs and all that as well.
Absolutely. And, Dr. Akili, I know that you have, I believe is it immuno boost?
Yes, sir.
Uh, and I also, one of the things that I got from a brother was, I think I had I meant to bring it, but it's Paxamil, I believe.
Aximune.
That Paxamune that we spray in the nasal area.
Yes, sir.
But can you talk a little bit about that, and also some of the things that we can do to support our immune system?
Yeah, well, the first part that I would say is we have to understand the correct foods to put in our body.
Mm,
And that is not in any way, I want to make sure that nobody takes my words and try to say that I'm saying something in contradiction to my sister Tamika. That's not what I'm saying. I, like, the word that you used in the beginning, I'm not afraid of saying what I have to say. If a
right.
person has a problem, we do want to cure them. We do want them to heal. We do want them to reverse those processes. And so my philosophy, of course, is to prevent all of that. And so
Mm,
what you put on your plate every day, what you think, how much you allow this information system, they are giving us information every day. It is
hmm.
up to us to decide whether it's good or bad. But the amount of information that you allow inside of your brain has to be tampered. The amount of time that you spend on putting information of the God that you serve should be maximized. Very important what you think every day. And then when you start talking about what's on your plate, my suggestion is that everybody should get How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It is the
Mm,
best food information that you can find. And then you heard my sister go through those herbs. I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at her. I was laughing with her because she was running down all that stuff like somebody was reading the ABCs. And I want people to know that although you don't typically hear, there's the book right there. Right? Although you don't typically hear Dr. Keeley talk about herbs and supplements and those things like that, it's because I concentrate on trying to get us to think about what we are doing. What should you do when you shop? What should you be
Mm-hmm.
planting in your backyard? What
Mm-hmm.
should wind up on your plate and what amounts? And then that way, we do need supplements because the food in this environment that we live in is denatured. But that also means that if it's a denaturing in the food that we're growing, there's denatured in the other things that's coming out the soil as well. So a supplement should be just that. That's something that you add to your regimen. But it is very important, especially in those who got sick, right? When I first talked about the immune system, I want you all to understand where I'm coming from. If we're doing the right things, we shouldn't even be concerned about getting COVID.
right.
But if you get it, that's a sign that your system is depleted to some degree. So there's some
Mm,
work that needs to be done. It's no different than walking in a house and somebody says, hey, daddy, I like this room here, but the door is squeaking. And the wife says, I like this, but that window back there is crooked. Does that mean the foundation is off? I went back and this wall was kind of shaky. Well, that means that house needs some work, right? Different than if you walked in the house, it was brand new, and you look around and say, man, everything works just wonderfully. That's all we're talking about. So that's not
Mm-hmm.
putting somebody down or
Mm-hmm.
making somebody else more special. most of the time it's the information that we have or an ignorance that has been passed down to us, and we need to just co-join ourselves. And that to me is so what is powerful about this program is you have a sister who's an herbalist and a person that was traditionally trained in this country in medicine, but yet we can see eye to eye and can be on more congruence than we are not, because I was lied to in the way that I learned medicine. And I had to retrain myself through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so with all that being said, I mean, I can't do everything in one program. We do have an immunoboost supplement that we use, and it boosts the natural immunity in the body from the interferon system. That's what immunoboost and Paximune does. There are differences, and it's not the time to get into the differences, but I have been using the immunoboost product since 2017. I have been practicing medicine for 26 years. Never was I comfortable in saying that I support or am a promoter of any product until I got to immunoboost 119 and the other ones that Brother Victor Muhammad makes. And so that's why I associate my name with that, because I have been using it now since 2017. And of course, during this pandemic, hundreds of people, thousands of bottles probably that I've sold, and I have not heard one response of a negative adverse event, nor any side effects. And so those are the things that I try to do, is give people the type of information that they won't be able to come back in 10 years and say, hey, doc, I heard that product that you're using now is being investigated by such and such organization to cause cancer. No, not with Brother Dr. Keeley, because he's going to do his diligence. And when he presents something to you, there will be no consequences later on. And I'll put my life on that.
Yes, I love it. And you know what, Dr. Keeley? Yeah, you are exactly right. And see, the reason I'm big on herbs, because I started out with my son as a baby, and he couldn't eat 8 bowls of broccoli, 8 bowls of carrot. But no, food is important. And see, on my private platform, we are going to have a whole segment, because we have to know how to eat. We have to know. Kids come out the womb, what we do? Get Similac. That has aluminum in it. No. Then go to the Fruit Loops and the Cocoa Puffs. And then the dairy that is poison, that builds up inflammation inside the body. So we really have to learn how to eat. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I'm all on board 100%. Food is medicine. Yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
God say the same. You all are going to see more out of me and my sister. And actually, before we get off of here, sister, real talk. I tried to pull up your site and it didn't come up.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, let me go ahead. I'll put it. Let me see here. I got her site right here. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat, and then as we close,
everything's not live.
Yep. So let me see here. Let me put this in this chat real quick.
Okay.
And then what we because when I put it in, I probably got it right. So because it came up. So I'll put it in the chat. Also, I want to show it. And as we close out, I'll show both of your websites. And then as we close on out, tell us how we can contact you. And real quick, for those who are facing mandatory vaccinations, do you all have any advice for them? What they should do?
Sure do. Okay. The Civic Prophet. So
as you talk, I'll put your website up. Okay.
So yeah, you look. I hope the Civic Prophet is listening right now. But I have a friend in Texas. They done threatened her. Oh, if you don't get this vaccine, you're gonna be fired. Or if you don't get it, I mean, what they say, if you file a religious exemption, then you better show a negative test every week. I said, no, ma'am, sir. They don't get the right to do that. So this, the Civic Prophet wrote her declaration, proclamation, affidavit. She turned it into her job. How about they hadn't messed with her? And she do not take a negative test every week. So we do have somebody that can definitely help, because I know, when they start messing with your money, people get nervous, and people call me, Tamika, I may have to take the vaccine. What can I take to run it out the system? I have to stop people. Don't ask me that. I said, I don't know nothing about no technology out the body. If it was a virus that we're used to getting, I can tell you how to drive that out. I don't know how to drive technology out. Just don't even get it.
All right. And so we'll go ahead and go on
Well, I
into
got you now, but it took me all
yourself,
kind of
Doc.
crap to get
I
to your
know, but
side.
I
These
tried to
people,
reach out to you, Dr. Keeley, and I didn't
hey,
get
these
no
people,
reply. I said,
these
why here?
people got
And
to
let
be.
me put Dr.
These people
Keeley's
got to be
website in
infiltrated.
there too.
Yeah, these people interfering with us, trying to connect. I've had a couple people tell me they've tried to reach out to me, and I haven't gotten any information.
Oh,
So,
okay. So you didn't purposely
yeah.
ignore me. Okay, got
I
it.
wouldn't do that to you, sister. I wouldn't do that to you. Please blame it on these people who are doing it.
I know, right? Yeah, they don't want us to connect because they know it's
Right,
going to be
right.
powerful.
Yes. And I also would like to answer that question, my brother, because there's some
Yes,
people
sir.
that just aren't ready for where we're coming from today. You know what I mean? There are some people out here that don't necessarily have the same strength that Sister Tamika and myself have.
Mhm.
I give credit to God for the strength that I have to stand up and the example
That's
that my
right.
parents set for me to stand up. And so for those that may want to go a little less, let's say, I don't know the right word, but I'll just say very outspoken way, check your state. There's a website called ncsl.org. And if you go to that site, you can look at your state, your particular state, and see what type of exemptions you have. To my understanding, the only states that you have no exemption possibility is New York and California. But every other state in the United States, there still are the possibility of your personal, your religious, and your medical exemptions. And so take advantage of that and do everything that you can to have your paperwork already ready so that if your employer comes and says you have to have this first shot and second shot by such and such a date, you say, well, I have a religious exemption. Here's my religious exemption. Now, once I'm going to just tell a story, funny that it's in Houston as well. Somebody that I knew that submitted their religious exemption and it was denied.
Mm.
But when they came back to him and told him it was denied, he said, look, I'm not interested in quitting. I'm not interested in a severance package. I want to keep my job. My wife, who is an HR professional, gave him a few other things to make sure he included. And within 4 to 5 days, they accepted his religious exemption. So what am I saying? It doesn't make a difference what direction you go, brothers and sisters. You are going to have to stand with some strength.
Yeah.
Because you can't allow yourself to be bullied into anything. You have rights. And it's no different than when we were in school as small children and somebody came and bullied you. You had to make a decision. Am I going to stand up or am I going to give in? Now, if you stand up, you might get a few bruises. I did the first time I stood up to a bully, but it was never a time in the rest of my life where I've even thought that a person could bully me because I stopped it in the kindergarten.
Yeah.
And I will never allow it to happen again.
And
But
you know,
everybody's going to have to stand in 2020 and beyond on your own
That's
2
right.
feet. You can't stand on Achilles' strength. You can't stand on Sister Tamika's strength. You can't stand on when you see other people doing strong things. This is the time where each of us have to go inside, tap into that God power that's in us and say, you know what? I'm going to do anything and everything it takes to not take this shot. And if you want to keep your job, keep that perspective and say, I'm going to do everything I can and not take this shot, but I'm also going to keep my job. But just make sure that your countenance within yourself says that I'm more important than this job. And if I decide to stand up and not take it no matter what, and I lose my job, watch God make a way for you.
Thank you.
Now, this is the last thing I want to touch on, and then I will let you all go. And I really thank you all for coming on, your patience. I just wanted to talk about the urban farming, the community gardens, even the vertical gardens, because I think this is a very important thing that we end with, is because a famine is about to hit America. Many people don't even know. They don't even know that the supply chain is breaking down.
Yes.
The extreme weather is destroying the crops. Everything that causes a famine, even civil unrest, is coming to America. Civil unrest is coming to America with these troops coming back from Afghanistan. And believe it or not, they're not going to find employment. So when Russia was kicked out, a little historical context, was kicked out of Afghanistan and the troops went back, that's when the Russian mafia began to get strong, because there were no jobs, but there were drugs. And a lot of these troops are coming back and they're high, they're addicted to these opioids and everything like that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But without me carrying on, can you all just talk a little bit about the urban gardens and even vertical gardens for people who live in apartments, and we'll close out with that.
Go ahead, my sister.
Well, I will say this. We know Bill Gates have bought up some property. I mean, all some
Mm,
land, right? I mean, I don't know
come
what
on.
he gonna be growing stuff for his robots, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't I didn't know about the famine thing, but it doesn't surprise me because they're gonna try to take everything they can.
Absolutely, sister. It's coming.
Yeah, yeah. So a good friend
It's
of
here,
mine.
really.
Oh
That's
wow,
I'm
right.
wow.
sorry.
A good
Inflation of the food. I'm sorry, but go right ahead.
Well, no, I mean, now that you mentioned that, I did have friends of mine that tell me right outside, like in New York, like there's barges that they're purposely holding back, and they know they got stuff
Mm,
for the grocery stores, but they're purposely holding them back, acting as if New York is out of food. But
mm,
yeah, I would definitely encourage people. This is the time now to start growing your own. And I was mentioning my friend John Gray. John, so many of us are coming in this time creating things for us. So I know my friend, they're creating garden or not garden, I'm sorry, a way for us to
mm.
grow our own food with not having to take much, but it's all healthy, it's all natural, the soil is natural. And I need to talk more about that to him. But I would just say, just grow your own, just start. If it's small in your house or outside, how you can get those large planters and we can just start growing our own herbs, our own food, rosemary, tomatoes. I mean, just everything. Just we have to start our
Right.
own because they're not going to do it for us. We have to take control of our lives. And like Dr. Keeley say, stand up for ourselves. And if we're going to do it, we have to make sure that we are eating the right foods to heal the body. And the only food is from the creator.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll just reiterate something I've been saying throughout the show. And that is the scripture that says in Revelations, come out of her, my people, so that you may not partake of her pestilence and her famine.
Hmm.
And so this is a call back to putting God first in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
If you are afraid of famine, put God back in your life.
Mm.
If you have been if you're putting all of your confidence and all of your responsibility of feeding yourself in the hands of somebody else, put God back in control of your life. I pray that you all understand. Again, we talked about not being caught up in what the name is that we call God, but the information
Hmm.
that's coming through this person that you're talking to. Please go listen to the July 4th, 2020 presentation by the minister
Right.
called The Criterion, because he said in there, as my brother opened up with the clip, he said that heaven and earth have a relationship.
Mm.
But if something is going to suffer, it's going to be the earth, and the heaven will not be affected. In essence, what he's talking about, because he said before that if a person puts God right in their life, they won't have to worry about rain.
Hmm.
So the person who is worried about drought is the one that doesn't have his relationship right with the God that we serve. So, brothers and
Right.
sisters, the minister talked about repentance. We all have to start looking at our lives and owning up to the fact of what you did wrong. I, Brother Keeley, who was an adulterer in my last marriage,
Mm.
am 11 years married now, and I have not cheated in this marriage. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. That's not my point. I got problems. I got things I have to improve,
As we
as
all
we
do.
all do. But that's the
Right.
first thing the minister said. If you are in the process of repentance, then Allah will have mercy and some grace for you. And it's the same thing when it comes to the land. When did a seed and soil stop working? Because
Come
these
on,
people
bro.
can't feed you doesn't mean that God went away.
That's
There's
right.
still a seed, there's
That's
still
right.
soil, and you need to learn how to manage those two things together. It doesn't make a difference if you stay in a studio and all you have is a corner of your studio, then grow something in that corner. If you just have a patio, grow something on your patio, but get started, because it's going to come a time where it's going to be like my grandmother used to say. They ate from their garden, and what they didn't have, they bartered with the community that they lived in. Black people are going to have to get back to that, because there is a
Absolutely.
problem in this country that started many, many, many years ago. As my sister said earlier, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding that our enemies have put into us makes us think we're smart. But all you got to do is look at your life and you a damn failure. So at the end of the day, let's put ourselves back into the mind frame that says God first, and then go out and start doing things that make sense for that reality of putting God first. And if you do that, you don't have fear, because God gives in abundance. You grow 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 tomato seeds, and when they start to harvest themselves, you can't even eat it all. Some of those tomatoes are going to go bad. Some of the worms are going to get, some of the birds are going to get, but there'll still be plenty for you, and you'll have to share others. So that's the perspective that we have to get back to. You put God first, we're going to be all right. But if you keep putting this enemy, who you can't even fathom the depth of his evil, you keep putting him as your head, keep making him your God, you're forever going to live in fear. And you will one day find out that you don't even understand how you got this deep into a hell. So choose otherwise.
Man, Dr. Cool, you're going to have me catching the Holy Ghost over here. Go ahead, Sister Tamika.
And then, yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Because, that's how I look at it. I'm not scared of COVID. I'm not care about no COVID. If I get COVID, I know what to take. I know what to do to run it out of my system. Right. But, Genesis 1:29, God said, I've given you every seed bearing plant on the face of this whole earth, and it's ours for food. Revelation 22:2 says the herbs are for the healing of the nation. Romans 14:2 says the man who is sick eateth the herbs. And Ezekiel 47:12 at the end of that says the leaves are our medicine. And as long as we got that, I'm not fearing nothing what these people talking about. I don't care about these folks, because I know that we're going to stand on the word of God, and that is forever. And that's what I'm standing with.
Thank you.
Hey,
so
I suggest everybody go back and listen to this, because that's just to be dropping so quickly. You got to go back and listen to them again. I'm trying to tell you.
Absolutely. And so for those who are watching, please, like, share, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Just type in Black Narrative. There are some other Black narratives, but like you said, Dr. Akili, like and share and follow them as well. You know what I mean? When one of us go up, we all go up. That's so right. I want to thank you all once again for coming on and giving us your time. I really appreciate you. I didn't know that we was going to go to church at the end of this whole conversation, but that's all right.
That's putting God first, Black man. Putting God first.
That's absolutely with right.
Him, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. So with that, I won't hold you all. I'm going to go ahead and close on out. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Black Narrative as we, deal with issues that impact our community. From a Black perspective, and giving it some historical context as well. And so I want to also invite all of you who are listening to support Black Narrative. We have put up the and I'll put that up real quick, where you can support us, because of course, these algorithms and things like that. When you think about these algorithms, they're racist algorithms that now take the place of the actual physical racist. So, brothers and sisters, it's time for us to do something for ourselves. I also want to invite you all to check out my conference for my nonprofit that's coming up, and I'll put the flyer up. We're going to have student minister Troy, student prison minister Brother Leon, Brother Julius, Sister Bain, Sister. It's just going to be a powerful conference, and I'll go ahead and send out the link where you can check out more of that. And as always, I want to leave you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace, wishing you and your family the light of truth and understanding. And we're going to close out with the commercial from the Final Call newspaper. And I just urge everyone out there, look, we know that mainstream media, they're liars. They're controlled by special interest groups. They're controlled by corporations. They're controlled by people who are anti-life, and they're definitely anti-Black. Support Black media. Support the Final Call newspaper. Support a man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who has been going hard in the paint, right? Or however that saying goes, been going hard for us for over 60 years, right? So support a man like that who has never compromised. So support the Final Call newspaper and tune in to the Final Call radio. If you need to be energized, if you need a pick-me-up, if you need a spiritual boost, listen to the Final Call radio, and I'll play that commercial and I'll leave you as I came before you. Assalamu alaikum.
Are you tired of corporate-controlled media? Then it's time to subscribe to a new way of gaining access to independent and timely news coverage. Introducing the Final Call Digital Edition. The Final Call Digital Edition is on the cutting edge of print news delivery. The Final Call Digital Edition carries in-depth reporting and thought-provoking analysis of both national and international news. Get out of the old and get into the new.
Me do my two-step.
It's urbancountryfilms.com.
We gonna get shut down when I play this video. You want to talk a little bit more? Because as soon as I press play on this.
So now we're gonna get into the topic and the high value man.
I mean, just careful what you say for now. When you go to melanated people, you realize how much everybody's being shadow banned.
I guess they just donated $100,000 to Gorilla Foundation. Gorillas are the unofficial official mascot of the Reddit movement.
I hope some people make some money off of that crazy GameStop madness.